Thanks to invest, we'll talk about investing, finance, or professionalism. For today's items only, the investment we're going to talk today will be Ethereum ticker ETH. First, want to say happy Tuesday, everybody. We've had a great week so far. Respect to recording time of 9:24 a.m. on the Eastern Time. Ethereum currently trading $4,204, up about 2.88% so far. As you can see clearly on the left corner, it's kind of a mixed bag today, right? With some selective coins a little bit more bullish than other, mainly driven by a specific micro affectation on the media side. And with respect to Bitcoin, is currently up about 1%, Ethereum up about close to 3%, Dogecoin's up about 6%, while Cardano's up, but it's kind of flat at the moment, up about 0.28%, while Solana, XRP, Polkadot, and Algorand, and Shiba Inu are still kind of trading on a sideways fashion. And with respect to the equity side, you could see clearly that it's a mixed bag again, right? Nasdaq is currently down about 1.26%. From the sell-off that we've had yesterday, right? The normalization from the news that got broke out with respect to Jerome Powell, his nomination to be the Fed's chairman all over again for the second term. Obviously with the stamp of approval from Joe Biden, and after that, the whole market just shake out to this momentum that we're seeing right now with the initial equity pump and also with respect to the crypto pump on, I would say, duration from about 10:30 a.m. all the way until, I would say, 2 p.m.-ish on the Eastern Time, and subsequently kind of normalize from there. It's kind of like a peak up in a way and then kind of slide off in a more of a gradual fashion. Eventually to be a down day for that day, despite early in the morning was a relatively rosy day, if you may. Or rosy day wouldn't quite make sense because red in a financial term is a negative, obviously color. So I would say more of a greenish day, if you may. So with respect to Ethereum, let's just take a look at the news real quick on the last 6 hours so far. The first one's on Quartz, which is it's like a new publication company that I've not really heard of before. Constitutional DAO may pay $1.5 million in Ethereum in gas fee. So this is related to the article that we have heard earlier, I would say in the last couple of days so far, with Ken Griffin from the Citadel Securities. He paid about like $43 million for the NFT for the U.S. Constitution. It seems like to buy something like this is going to incur a relatively high gas fee, which will cost approximately $1.5 million per the article that they depict here. But obviously, $1.5 million is a lot of money. But is it a lot of money for Ken Griffin? I would say not really. It's just drop in a bucket, right? So interesting to see that there is some sort of a fee structure that's in place for these type of transaction, right? The next one's on Bazinga about 7 hours ago. Talk about Ethereum is in a bearish state. So this is a relatively interesting article. They're basically depicting from the peak that we've had, surging from, I would say, ever since in late September when we were at like the 2,732, we surged all the way to close to about $5,000, right, at the 4,871, basically 4,900, and now we're selling back down to kind of contemplate, do we go up from 4,000 or do we go below 4,000 to the next level 3,850? And they're saying something along the line that we're in a bearish state. I mean, we are selling off, but are we in a bearish state? That's something that's still non-confirmatory, right? We're debating, are we in more of a head and shoulder pattern, or are we in more of cup and handle pattern, which is something that is still in more of a premature perspective for us to have that confirmatory signal yet. So again, interesting for us to read, but obviously with their depiction, they have a specific bias to want to influence the market in a certain way. So I would just read it with a grain of salt, but not really listen to what they're saying or what they're trying to say, if you may. The next one's on CNBC about 8 hours ago. Talk about Ripple, XRP, right? Seeing good progress in SEC case. They've been having some legality issues over XRP, obviously. And the outcome seems promising per I think the CEO, Brett Gallinghouse, I think that's how you pronounce his name. They expect the outcome to be happening next year. But in terms of like what part of next year, is it Q1, Q2, Q3, or Q4? They haven't really said anything specific yet, but they're seeing some major progression on the legal front that they're going to sort it out. And once they scrub that, it should get institutionalized and get actual adoption from there. So XRP might be a buying opportunity, right? So that's something we can look into technicals in a bit. The next one's on Decrypt about 13 hours ago, talk about Martha Stewart. She's minting Thanksgiving NFT on Ethereum. So seems like more activity around NFT. I know she did one for Halloween where she dressed like I think like a witch or something, and she had like a really crazy makeup with like black eyeliner. She paints her face like a vampire with like red lipsticks, and she has like teeth, and she's like wearing a cape as well. And it seems like she's selling NFT related to obviously capturing this holiday spirits, right? The next one is talking about Decrypt 14 hours ago with respect to the Ethereum gas fee and the surging price, right? This is related to the NFT commercialization and the counter products that you will get from transacting with these NFTs. Similar to the case that we saw from Ken Griffin on purchasing the U.S. Constitution NFT, the $1.5 million of gas fee is a counterproductive product that it will be you add on to obviously your investments, right? So that's something that we are aiming to correct and further improve upon the lack thereof in within the proposition of Ethereum. So something that is something we notice, is something we are observing. But despite the high gas fee, it doesn't really stop these investors from putting the dollars where their mouth is, buying or investing relatively large sums of money buying these type of arts, or these type of JPG image even, right? So it's quite interesting. The next one is talking about respect to Bazinga again. It seems like it's another bearish article. Talk about with respect to Ethereum and Bitcoin falls. Where's next? So let's exclude what they're saying. Let's just dive into technical analysis in a bit to see what they're talking about. Again, I didn't really listen to publication companies in terms of their technical fronts because it's relatively subjective, and I think everybody have their own point of view. And the last thing I want to do is to read into the article, and have some sort of an influence over my thinking. I wanted to make sure that the way I'm thinking in the technicals that I perform here is crystal clear without any bias or any mixture, And by reading it is informative, but but just based on my high level read, it's not that substantive. It's just saying that, it's very relatively diplomatic. It's either we are going up or going down. What would be the next levels if we go up? It will be the next levels if we go down, respectively. So nothing really substantive there. The last one's on CNBC about 18 hours ago, something we talked about already with respect to El Salvador plans to create a Bitcoin city, and they raise a relatively sizable fund, right? I think $1 billion in terms of Bitcoin bonds that will support this initiatives going forward, right? So let's just dive into technicals right now. So with respect to Ethereum, it's up about 3.06%. We are reversing up right now, 47 out of 70. It seems like we are having some revival at the moment. Looks like it, but is that really the case? Ultimately, this looks very much like a shoulder, right? You could see the head, you could see the shoulder, you could see the secondary shoulder. And right now, we're just basically contemplating, do we stay up about 4,000 or do we stay below 4,000? We do have some consolidation level here, and that's the reason why we have canceled out many times. So right now, it's best to watch it. Right now, we're still at the okay level, not the best. So I think I'll just wait until we deplete back to below 35 again. And I think again, right, the 3850 to 3475 is the frame of reference that you would ideally dollar cost average at. Bitcoin right now is at the 41 out of 70. There's no signs of really reversing yet. So ideally, again, right, the 53 to the 48 would be still the level I would ideally dollar cost average at for Bitcoin. Dogecoin right now is up about 5%. Relatively short-lived, I would say. We basically got to get up to 2378, which is the peak, and then we might sell off back down from here with a 4304 on the RSI scale. So ideally, right, 23 to 1950 would be the level I would dollar cost average at. Cardano's trade on sideways fashion. I think Cardano is a dip right now. I think you would want to ideally incur some risk at the moment. 170 seems like it's the dip, right? But again, right, if we break 170, we're going to go down to 145, so something to watch out for. But I don't see that happening because of the fact that we're relatively oversold right now. So right now, Cardano is a buy. I would say I give that relatively good green light actually for myself. Solana right now at the 50 out of 70, so it's not the best, not the worst, but not great either. So ideally, right, 33 to $113 still the dip. XRP seems like we have broke below 105. So again, I think the dip is right now. I think maybe you want to wait until we get closer even to the 101, right? I think 101 is the dip, and if we break 101, we got to go 93, go to 88, obviously from the next logical levels from here. Polkadot again, right, from 33 all the way to 25 is still the level dollar cost average. I think we'll almost get there. So 33 is the dip for Polkadot. Algorand right now, it's again, I'll way off because with the okay level, not terrible, not the best. Again, right, 160 to 152 is still the dip. Shiba Inu right now, again, right, buying at the 2750 to the 900 is still the dip in the frame of reference as we deplete below 35 on RSI scale. So with respect to risk management level, these are levels I've identified here. Basically, in a most simplistic perspective per the technical analysis that we just went through together. These are levels as we deplete below 35 on an RSI scale. As we deplete to a preliminary golden cross, that will be the best setup for us to, risk manage and risk mitigate as well. We do not want to be just buying because we feel like it's up or feeling it's down. There are ways that we can methodically think about how we maneuver through the volatility that we see in front of us, right? So hopefully this is helpful. Hope you guys have a great Tuesday morning, evening, or night, depending on where you are, obviously. And let me know if you have any specific questions. And thank you so much for the kind comments and notes that you guys provide for me every single day. I really appreciate you guys. And stay tuned for some come up. Take care.